Hey guys, it's about beer 30. Let's take a walk into the kitchen and see what's in the fridge today.
Hello everybody, welcome to Gregsbeerreviews. Today's beer comes from Upland Brewing Company. These guys are in Indiana. This is their Juiced in Time. It's an IPA coming in at 6.5%. That's a big 16-ounce can. This was sent to me by Maverick, and he writes Best by May of 2019, and we're getting close to that. Today is the 25th of April, so we're going to go ahead and get it done before it gets to the end of its shelf life. It says best by 2019, May 2019. I know, quite irritating, but my friend told me they put a 3-month shelf life on these, which is what it should be. Not 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12. 3 months is what I put on them, guys. And I don't buy them once they get to that 3-month shelf life. I'd rather have them within the first 4 weeks. 6 weeks anyway. 8 weeks, yeah. But once it starts getting past that, I get kind of leery if I can't find anything else. But once it hits the 3-month mark, I don't buy them. 6.5%. He has 20 IBUs listed, but he says feels way more bitter than that. The hops are Amarillo, Citra, Eldorado, and Galaxy. I would find it hard to believe that it's 20 IBUs also, Maverick. For an IPA, they're going to be in the 50 to 70 range, if not higher, depending on what bittering hops they've used and where they actually wanted it to be. I find it hard to believe that it's 20 IBUs too, guys. And I'm going to tell you that too once I taste it, whether I think it's 20 IBUs or not. But if they're saying that, who am I to argue with that? I go by what I'm tasting. And I've tasted a couple anyway. Let's go over to Untappd, see if they have any additional information. They got the same thing, 6.5, 20 IBUs. Their commercial description says Side Trail Series. Juiced in Time is a New England style IPA that's absolutely dripping with ripe tropical fruit and boasted juicy citrus flavors. Wheat and oats were added to the malt profile along with a special mineral treatment to the water to create body and smooth texture. Virtually all the hops were reserved for after the boil to minimize bitterness and amplify the flavor and aroma. From the glowing orange appearance and the soft creamy mouthfeel and delicate sweetness, this beer is everything delicious about tropical fruit juice embodied in a dangerously drinkable IPA. So if they didn't use a lot of bittering hops, it's very feasible that it could be 20 IBUs. But to me, it seems like that would be an unbalanced beer and it would be too sweet and syrupy and not to have a little bit more bitterness than that. But maybe it'll change my mind. Maybe I'll think it's an outstanding world-class beer. So let's find out. Let's get it open and get it into the can. Maverick, thanks a bunch for the beers you sent me. Like I said, I had a lot of IPAs and double IPAs sent to me all at once. So I've been trying to get to them since I'm only having one of these styles of beer every day. And then going to something a little bigger or heavier for the final one of the evening. Doesn't look like a New England style coming out. Unless it's got a lot of settling going on in the can, which it could have happened. About a finger and a half of head on that pour. Guys, I can see right through it. It looks like a filtered beer. Now that may change when I get to back and pour in there, and we will do that here in just a minute or so. Nice amber color. Good looking beer. Doesn't look like a New England style to me, but that may change here. Very citrusy. Does have hints of tropical fruit notes, grapefruit, pine. Smells pretty good. I mean, the hops are not off the chain or anything. It smells like a West Coast style right now to me, guys. A very nice West Coast style. So let's dive in and see what we got, and so we can get the back and pour in there and see if it changes the appearance. And it looks like a filtered beer to me with a slight chill haze on it. Doesn't look like a New England style. So let's get her down the throat. It does have a nice sweetness to it, but I'm detecting the bitterness there. So I kind of agree with Maverick. It tastes like it's got more IBUs than 20. But it is very smooth, I will say that. It is very, very easy drinking for 6.5%. Drinks like a 5%er. Very sessionable. A very pleasant taste. It is very, very nice beer. Now, let's get the back end pour in there and see if it clouds up any. Now, we had that happen the other day. It's a lot cloudier coming out of the bottom end, so yep. So these beers, a lot of times they do that. They'll brew them, and then, within a couple of weeks or so, maybe 6-8 weeks, all of that settles down and it separates from the rest of the beer. So before, got to reserve judgment. That's why I do this before I go off camera to see if it changes any. Sometimes it does, sometimes it don't. This one did. It had a lot of stuff settled into the bottom of the can. And I got there, and I roll the can. We're not going to go there. It doesn't always work when you do that. And then sometimes if you agitate it too heavily, you get a spew or a gusher. So I just soon do it the way I do it here, and then we get it in there. Looks very much like a New England style now, guys. Very cloudy, very hazy. Definitely an unfiltered beer. A lot of settling going on. Juiced in time. A little play on words for just in time, evidently. The aroma hasn't changed much. Still pretty much the same. The appearance has. Very smooth. I'm getting more oranges on the taste now. It is definitely a smooth drinking beer. So maybe the IBUs are 20. It doesn't have a whole lot of bitterness, but to me, I would think it would be in the 35 to 40 range for what I'm tasting. It's not a sweet, syrupy mess. It is very, very tasty. But it's right out of the fridge. We're going to sip on it and see what we end up with. Alright guys, I'm back. Been sipping on it a while now. Nice placing is left on the glass. Decent beer. I don't think it's world class or anything like that, but it is a tasty beer. A lot of settling going on in the can, and that happens a lot of times once you get close to the 3 month shelf life. Some do, some don't. It just depends. But I find it very tasty. Very low bitterness, I will agree there. Very smooth, easy to drink. Alcohol's non-existent basically, not getting any alcohol at all. To me, now you may be different if you're not used to drinking beers in the 6.5 magnitude, if you're used to drinking the 5%ers or less, or the macros. This would probably be a good one if you don't like a lot of bitterness, like most IPAs have. This is a little easier to drink. But nice tropical fruit notes, very enjoyable. Just got to get it all out of the can in the glass so you see what and taste what the beer is actually supposed to be and what they wanted you to have. But final choke. It's almost to the 7%ers where I look for beers when I buy them for myself. That's what I like, 7% and above. But it is a very nice representation of the style once the back half was poured into there. I could probably live with buying this beer if it was available here. If it was fresh. Not into buying beers that are 3 months or older. I told you that earlier, guys. So that would depend. That's like I said, when I see bales sitting on the shelf and they're 3 months old or older, I just leave them there, guys. I don't buy them. Even though it's one of my favorite beers, and now that the distribution is changing on that beer, probably not going to be seeing much of them around here unless something else changes. So with that being said, to me, guys, it's an A- beer. That's where I'm going to put it. I'm going to give it 92. 92 for me on this one, guys. Over to Beer Advocate, they say 4.11. Also A minus from those guys. And final check-in, we're on over to Untapped. They have it at 4.06. Also A minus. So it's unanimous. It's A minus beer. Still tasty. Definitely worth picking up if you can get your hands on it. A good representation of the style once the back end was in there and it was all cloudy and looked like a New England style beer. So, if you've had the Juiced in Time from Upland Brewing, let me know what you think. Till we meet again, let's go see what's in the fridge.